In this video, Kevin and I are going to be trying 4 Devil's Food cake mixes to see which one has the best texture and flavor. We have the Betty Crocker, Duncan Hines, Great Value, which is Walmart, and Pillsbury. These were all bought at Walmart. The Betty Crocker was $1.47. The Duncan Hines was also $1.47, so same price. The Great Value was $1.12. And the Pillsbury was $1.37. They all bake at 350 degrees. Every single mix takes the same ingredients. You need 3 eggs, 1 cup of water, and a ½ cup vegetable oil. And that's the same all across the board. So you will see me mix these together. This isn't like an instructional video, but I will show you that part where I'm making the mix, whipping it together. And then I'm going to put them all in the oven. And when we come back, I'll tell you how long they all took to bake. But for right now, I'm just going to speed this part up as I am preparing the mixes. These all took the same amount of time.
25 minutes.
25 minutes. So, even though the backs of some of the boxes...
The front two, especially the Great Value and the Pillsbury, they said like 34 to 38 or something.
If you had left them that long, they would have burned. They all took 25 minutes. So, I don't know what they were talking about. So, we have the Duncan Hines. We have Betty Crocker. Betty Crocker, Duncan Hines, Great Value, and Pillsbury. I'm doing them in alphabetical order so I keep track of them. And we put them in the oven in alphabetical order too. So the first one I'm going to cut is going to be the Betty Crocker. And since we're just reviewing these, I'm cutting them in the pan. I'm not frosting them or anything like that. And so I'm just going to get us a piece out. There we go. So that's your Betty Crocker. And then you have Duncan Hines. There we go. I'll tell you what, can you see the difference in the fluffiness of those? Mm-hmm. Of the Betty Crocker and the Duncan Hines?
The Duncan Hines a little more airy than the...
Yes, yes. So it just depends on how you like yours. This is the Great Value, the Walmart brand.
Yeah, look how high that is in the middle. That'd be fun to frost, wouldn't it?
It seems to be the darkest so far. And then lastly, we have the Pillsbury. And I think that the Pillsbury is the tallest. It is the tallest cake. I would say the Pillsbury is the tallest, then the Great Value, then the Duncan Hines, and then the Betty Crocker is the
least fluffy.
The least fluffy, yeah.
Of course, we didn't weigh the batter, so we don't know that they were exactly the same amount.
Exactly. You saw that I just eyeballed it when I put it in there, so that probably has something to do with it too. So I would want to make it known to you that the Betty Crocker is the smallest ounce box.
The mix, the actual powder.
Yes, the Duncan Hines, the Great Value, and the Pillsbury all have 15.25 ounces. The Betty Crocker is only 13.25. And the Betty Crocker is the exact same price, which is the highest price, is the Duncan Hines. So they're charging you more, but you're getting less mix. So do you want to look at the calories?
Yeah, sure.
The calories, are you looking at just the mix?
Just the powder alone is 160 for both of them.
Okay. Well, how many grams?
43.
Okay, for 42 grams, it's 150 calories. And then this is 170 calories for 43 grams.
No, so that's just more calories in general.
It's more calories in general. The Duncan Hines.
Okay.
The Duncan Hines is more calories in general.
Not much, just a little bit.
Right. Okay, so we're going to try the Betty Crocker first. Yep. I'm going to put that up there.
Okay. This almost has a reddish tint to it.
The cake?
Yeah. I'm just looking at it from the side, like the angle. I guess it's just brown.
If you had to describe the difference to people in what is your opinion, the difference between a devil's food and a chocolate cake?
I've always thought devil's food was a little more, not darker necessarily, but not quite as sweet. Mm-hmm. Not like a milk chocolate. It's more of a...
To me, it's a little bitter.
A semi-sweet, yeah, like a darker chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
But not like really bitter like a dark chocolate candy bar, but just a little darker than like a regular chocolate. Mm-hmm. Whereas chocolate's more like a milk chocolate kind of flavor.
I better quit eating that or we won't have anything to compare to the next one.
I like that. It's good.
I
Very
like
fluffy.
the Betty Crocker. Yes. And again, you can't judge these by how fluffy they are at all.
No, because we didn't measure them out exactly.
No, each pan has a different amount. So the fluffiness, we're not judging these on fluffiness. We're really judging it on flavor.
Yeah.
So that has a nice devil's food flavor. So this is the
And it makes sense that they went up in fluffiness because the longer Tammy did it, the more batter she was pouring in.
Yeah, that's just me. Yes. That's very, very typical.
No, but you can tell how light and airy something is when you're eating it.
Yes.
Definitely tastes different.
Yes. I think it has a sweetness to it that the first one didn't have.
Yeah.
There's like some additional...
That one more resembles more of a chocolate-like flavor.
Mm-hmm. There's like, they put something extra in there to make
it
it
was
sweeter.
10 more calories.
Well.
You can tell.
Yeah, you can tell. I wonder if
it still has that little bit of a bitterness to it too, though. You know?
The Betty Crocker has 17 grams of total sugar. The Duncan Hines has 18 grams of total sugar. It's just a gram, but still, you can tell it is a sweeter mix. Mm-hmm. Okay.
None of these is what I would consider good. None of these is what I would say, ooh, that's chocolate. You know what I mean?
This is the Walmart, the Great Value.
It's not like I'm eating a chocolate candy bar of some kind or even cocoa or anything like that. It's not that kind of chocolate flavor. And we would have gotten chocolate, but it's like, I think the Great Value did not have chocolate.
Yeah, there was one of these that we just did not see chocolate. And I think it was the Great Value. Now, that doesn't mean they don't have one.
Well, we looked in 2 stores and neither one of them had.
Yeah, neither one of them had the chocolate around us. They only had the devil's food. So that's why we got devil's food, because we were going to go with the chocolate. And then we thought about doing strawberry too, but I think it was it Great Value?
Great Value does not have a strawberry.
Have
at least
strawberry.
in our area.
Yeah, in our area. So we were going to compare strawberry. So if we ever do, if you're ever curious about that, then it will just be Betty Crocker, Duncan Hines, and Pillsbury. It won't be the Great Value.
That one's okay. It's not very flavorful, honestly. It's a little lacking in flavor.
It's lacking in flavor, but I also detected a little earthiness.
Yeah, I didn't really get that. It's really just lacking in anything going on.
Okay, the Pillsbury.
I do think it's very interesting that they cooked 10 minutes less than the time listed on the box.
Mm-hmm.
And they're perfectly baked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you really need to be careful. And I made these in 8-inch round baking pans.
That's fine. Well, I don't taste anything bad about it.
I don't either.
I'm going to go back and try the Duncan Hines compared to that one. We'll just sit here and eat cake for you. I still like the Duncan Hines better because there is a little bit more sweetness to it, and the flavor is a little bit more of a chocolatey kind of flavor. The Pillsbury on that one's not bad though.
No, it's not.
Just pick it up. It's easier. I know.
Interesting. Okay, I have my order.
It's really surprising if you watched our previous video, that the Pillsbury was like horrible.
It was the worst.
It had a really just a bad flavor to it. This one's actually not bad at all.
We did a review, same exact thing, of yellow cake mixes. So if you did not watch that video, then and you're interested, then you should watch it because the outcome of that is very different than the outcome of this one. I do have my order.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't want to influence you.
No, I know what.
Okay, my order, I'm still going to go with Duncan Hines as number one.
I agree.
Because out of all of them here, it does seem just a hint sweeter. Now, that's not to say it's a sweet cake, but it is a hint sweeter than all the rest.
Yeah, I agree.
But number two, I'm going to go with the Pillsbury.
Yeah, I would agree.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then number three is Betty Crocker.
Although Betty Crocker and Pillsbury for me were very similar.
Very similar. But the last place for this review is the Great Value for me.
It didn't score great in the vanilla one either. The yellow one.
No, it wasn't
Tasted
great.
artificial.
But it wasn't last place in the yellow. It's still the Great Value, the Walmart cakes. I personally would never. I would not buy them.
Spend the extra 40 cents.
Yeah, it's worth 30 or 40 cents to get one of the name brands. But I did. I believe I said it in the yellow cake mix video, and I want to say it again here. We did reviews of frostings, We did chocolate frosting. We did, I think, white frosting or buttercream frosting. I think we did all those. Yeah. The Betty Crocker was usually the best in those, not the Duncan Hines. So for frosting mixes, I'd go with the Betty Crocker. But for cake mixes, I would go with the Duncan Hines. Yeah. And honestly, with these, it doesn't matter, especially if you're going to be adding frosting to them anyway, then I would go ahead and buy the cheaper Pillsbury as far as a devil's food cake, because the Pillsbury was $1.30. Say if you want to save 10 cents, you could go ahead and buy the Pillsbury.
Or buy whichever one's on sale.
Because you're going to be covering it. I wouldn't buy the Great Value, but you're going to be covering it up anyway with frosting.
Yeah. Out of the other three, I would just buy whatever's on sale.
Yeah, truly for this particular review. But now the yellow cake mix, the Pillsbury was absolutely horrible.
And the Great Value wasn't that great.
No, it was not great.
It was okay. You could eat it, but it was a little artificial. I liked it better than Tammy did, but it didn't like it at all. It did have an artificial vanilla flavor.
So what will stick out for me when I go to buy a cake is, don't buy Great Value.
Yeah.
No matter what, the Great Value is the best. And honestly, for me, even though the Pillsbury was fine here, because it was so bad with that yellow cake mix, it's going to be in my memory. Don't buy Pillsbury cake mix either. Even though it was second place here, I just would rather not...
try to remember each individual cake mix and
yeah,
which one was good and bad.
So for me, it's easier to avoid all the blue boxes and to avoid the Great Value boxes, and then just buy one of these if I want something. That's just easier for me to remember. But if you have done this same thing at home, I doubt many of you have.
Yeah, who's going to eat cake without frosting?
I doubt many people would buy 4 box mixes and try them. But if you have for some reason, then you can let us know what you thought. I think it's a really good test to try them with no frosting though.
Yeah, frosting's going to way skew your results. So.
Yes, frosting, I could put frosting on a piece of notebook paper and it's going to taste good. So you have to kind of try them without the frosting to get a true sense of the cake itself. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll have pictures for you at the end, and thanks for watching.